So, gaming. It's a fun hobby. It's kind of what this whole channel is based around, and, it's all the stuff I talk on YouTube and just kind of online. Why would you ask? Well, there's bound to be a lot of controversies with gaming. Is it really too much of a surprise? No, not really. Throughout gaming's time, it has caused a lot of controversy. There's been stuff in it that has been controversial for no fault of its own. But then again, it's also some really stupid things that do happen in the gaming industry that, rightfully, we should call out. Unless you're like me and you just make 5+ videos about every game controversy. I mean, not even every game controversy, but just the cool ones. Well, and of course, the first one that we're starting off with is, of course, gacha games. Now, originally, this probably would have just been talking about, like, 1 or 2 specific games, but this is kind of talking about the entire genre, because the genre has been criticized for various mechanics, such as, sexualization of characters, and, of course, encouragement of gambling. Games like ZZZ, Honkai Star Rail, Arknights, and of course Umasume they've incorporated gacha mechanics, and normally these games are free to play, but kinda do require, some payments for some stuff. Well, not the worst thing, these games have been criticized for promoting gambling and for essentially being called gooner material. But of course, for the most part, this is probably one of the less harmless ones. So let's move on to something that's actually a bit more interesting. Yakuza 3 Kiwami plus Dark Ties. This is probably one of the more controversial games that came out this year, mainly because of one of the voice actors. One of the voice actors for this game, Teruyuki Kagawa, had admitted to a sexual assault allegation prior to this game's release, and there was a boycott for this game, demanding that he be replaced and that people do not buy this game. And this kind of started a bit of a controversy with people people rightfully calling out Sega and the developers for still including a voice actor with such a horrific accusation against him. But it's also led to some debates about separating art from the artist, or why should the developers be facing issues because of one voice actor, leading it to be one of the more notable controversies within gaming this year. Next up, we of course have Starfield and Console Warriors. So, Starfield came out back in 2023 and is, kind of at the moment, Bethesda's newest RPG. Now, of course, this game kind of did cause a bit of a console war back when its release, because, unfortunately, we have people who think Xbox is the best thing, and we have people who think PlayStation is the best thing. Then you have normal people who generally just don't care. But this game got into controversy as it was being used as a ploy against PlayStation users, which is ironic because this game is now on a PlayStation 5. But it also led to debates about which was the better exclusive, being this one or Spider-Man 2. There was also some criticism and controversies for this game being on the Xbox for a long time, or it not being as interesting, or it taking way too long to get good. Of course, time will only tell whether or not this game will stand out among Bethesda's library or be forgotten. And at number 2, we of course have Elden Ring and its developers' responses. Small correction on This one, it wasn't its developers' responses, but this was responses from other developers. So the Souls-like genre is, I mean, it's not, well, at this point, it's pretty much a new genre. From Software has produced many hard action RPGs called Souls-likes, and or well, Soulsborne. Elden Ring is well, Elden Ring was one of the newer releases, and it took the world by storm. This game was well beloved, and from what I've heard, was a great entry point for many people, myself included. I got 10 hours into this game, still have not completed it. But of course, when Elden Ring released, there was some controversy from other developers who were criticizing the game design and UI. These developers kind of got clowned on in return because they worked for companies like Ubisoft, who've been notorious for dealing with a lot of, well, their games are notorious for being very kind of demanding in their open worlds and kind of collectathons. Not to mention, it also feels like bad sportsmanship because why drag down a game from another studio? Elden Ring also did face a bit more controversy too, with the usual toxic fan base. Now, it's definitely not all of the fan base, but unfortunately, there have been some notable exceptions with Souls fans. It also got into controversy too with a YouTuber who pretty much essentially trashed the game and got in some internet beef with another gaming content creator, Quantum TV versus Actman. So, Elden Ring's not even a decade old yet, and it already has a bit of a notable track record. And of course, at number 1, we of course have Suicide Squad kill the Justice League for killing Batman. To be honest, this could be an entire list of just bad live service games. But of course, that's eventually probably going to be talked about. The controversies for this one is, well, kind of how they treated Batman, and I guess the game's launch. Rocksteady made this one, and Rocksteady are best known for the Arkham games. This was a trilogy of games revolving around Batman in the early 2010s and I think late 2000s. Kill the Justice League was a live service game released a few years ago, and unfortunately, it kind of flopped for various reasons. First of all, from what I've heard, it was the lack of content that really did not make this game stand out. Also, it was how they treated Batman, as I don't think anyone really would care that Batman dies in this game. It's just a lot of people felt that they disrespected Batman as a character in this one. Not to mention, it's also a live service game, and these games have been getting into a lot of controversy because people are feeling that live service games have been being forced down people's throats for the last few years, and Kill the Justice League is just another game that's solely focused on multiplayer and really not worth any money. But of course, there's more issues with Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and of course, eventually I'll probably talk more about them. But these for, well, a few more game controversies. As of now, I am working on a 6th and 7th one, with potentially more to come. So, obviously, with that out of the way, I will of course see you all next time. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.